What should you do about the Windows tech support scam? We've all had the calls. But what can we really do about the Windows tech support and Windows refund scams? Should you hang up, or leave the callers on? Is there anyone you can report them to? And if so, should you even bother? Let's find out. Fake tech support scams are on the rise and almost everyone is at risk. Scams are difficult to spot. Even seasoned IT professionals have been caught out by Windows scam calls. It's not hard to see why. Anyone claiming to be from Windows could be expected to know if there was a virus on your PC. Right. And when they guide you into checking the Windows Event Viewer, they usually manage to snare you into their swindle. While errors are genuinely logged here, reading out a string of numbers for harmless issues engages victims with the problem. Similarly, the Windows refund scam attempts to con you into thinking that Microsoft owes you money. This is often linked to free Windows 10 upgrades, with scammers attempting to gain access remotely to process the payment. Application of logic will, of course, make a mockery of these claims. Microsoft doesn't have your phone number, unless you're an employee, and payments aren't processed on your PC. The aim of the scammers is to con you into installing their remote control software on your computer. Once done, your scammer will no doubt also perform some tech support theater to look as though they know what they're doing. Once the virus is discovered, of course, the scammers will demand money for their services of removing it. If you refuse, there is the possibility that the scammers have remotely changed your password or encrypted your files. The Windows tech support call just transformed into a ransomware scam. Perhaps you've just received one of these calls. Or you know someone who has. What should you do next time? Many people, mostly those wise to the scam, think it is helpful to keep the Windows support scammers talking. Diverting the caller. Perhaps pretending you're looking for the error code, or installing their remote software. Wastes their time. The thinking is that you're stopping them for a short time at least, from finding a less savvy victim. A common method, one used in the video, is to omit to mention that you're using Linux or Mac OS. These are rarely targeted by scammers and between them account for just 11% of the computers currently online. While this approach makes sense, it isn't without its dangers. Scammers are often aggressive, pushy, and even sleazy. Throw in some threats and reports of violence and doxing, unsubstantiated, against victims who called them out. It becomes clear. Should you find yourself still talking, avoid sharing any personal information. And don't go to the web page that the scammer directs you to, certainly. Don't install any software. Hanging up, then, is the best option. Ending the call as soon as scammers claim to be from Microsoft might just force the criminals out of business. Finally, make sure you tell people, anyone and everyone. The more people who know about the scam, the greater the chance of it being abandoned by its perpetrators. Something that concerns a lot of people is the condition of their PC after the scam. Many find themselves partially taken in before installing the software. Or worse, after installing it. Perhaps you saw the mouse pointer moving around and felt something was wrong. Perhaps you ended the call and switched off your PC. If so, you're probably safe. But make sure you run a scan with your antivirus software and Malwarebytes' anti-malware tool. You should also restart your PC to force end the remote session. If for some reason this isn't possible, due to remote access, hold the power button on your computer down until it shuts down. In this case, there is a strong chance that they copied, or attempted to, data from you. If this data features personally identifiable information, this could be used to determine one or more passwords. If you use Facebook, for instance, and your password can be guessed, then a whole load of information can be harvested about you. This is how identity thieves get their claws in. Call your credit card company right away. Tell them you have been scammed, and they should cancel the transaction. You should also change the password for your credit card account, and every other password you use. 2. By giving your credit card details to the scammers to pay for their service, you're also likely to give them the information they need to use your card. By sharing the 16-digit number, the valid until date, and the 3-digit number on the reverse, you've essentially given them everything they need to steal from you. Remember, they called you. This is not a safe way to conduct business. Our dedicated guide looking at the aftermath of a tech support scam call. Search for fake tech support scam, and you will understand how common it is across the world. Some simple precautions after the event could help you feel less of a victim. Whether you can report the scammers for their criminal behavior depends on where in the world you live. As a rule, the police can't do anything about this. Unless provided with location-based information. They will, however, act if given enough information by an industry regulator or government department. In the USA, the target of your complaints should be the Federal Trade Commission. Calls to the FTC are treated seriously, but you should have made a note of the caller's name and number. You should be able to get the number from your handset, or by dialing your regional, last incoming call number. Scammers preying on unsuspecting computer users cannot be allowed to win this battle. We suggest that in addition to hanging up and reporting callers that you also consider abandoning your landline. If practical, should mobile numbers then be targeted? Whitelisting and blacklisting call management apps can be used to block them. Windows telephone scams are not the only one doing the rounds these days. Watch out for the ghost broking car insurance scam. Scammers are taking to the online car insurance market to target young drivers. Here's how to avoid ghost broking scams. Text source, makeuseof.com.